Another 4 games for us to dig our teeth into today. We're going to be starting with the United States against Australia, 2 teams that won their opening games of the World Cup. And then it's on to Scotland, who are playing Morocco for a chance to get into the knockout stages for the first time in their history. Brazil are facing Haiti, and they will be without Neymar once more. I've got a feeling they won't need him in this game. And the early morning slot belongs to Turkey once more. They are playing Paraguay, with both of those teams losing their opening game. So that is a big game for both teams. Now, if you're ready to dig into the data and make some predictions, without further ado, let's get into it. So speaking of predictions, here is our probability model, just under 50% for the USA to win on home soil. 26% for Australia to do what they did so well against Turkey. And speaking of predictions, here is the winner from yesterday's video. Well done to you. That is a fantastic prediction. You have won a month of OddAlerts Pro. And the same goes for this video. Get your predictions in for any of the games that we are covering here. The spotlight, though, the one that I want to see your predictions for the most, is Scotland against Morocco. We're going to cover that in a moment, but first, let's keep looking at the data for the United States and Australia. So I mentioned the way that Australia played against Turkey, and we can take a look at the pressure monitor here for that game. Average pressure of 72% for Turkey. A lot of the Turkey players came out after the game and basically said that it was one-way traffic, we should have scored. You should have scored, but you didn't. And on another day, they absolutely probably do score. The game plan was perfect from Australia. They defended very well. The keeper had an absolute blinder. But we can see that Turkey had 30 shots in that game, just 8 of them on target. And when we jump back to the United States-Australia game, we can take a look at the odds and see that the bookies are favouring quite heavily the United States here. Odds as low as 1.57 and as high as 1.77. And I have to agree, really, that if Australia do sit back like that again, they might not, by the way. They might open up because they've already got 3 points. They might take the game to the United States a little bit, make it more of a footballing contest. But if they do play the way that they did against Turkey, I think the United States will score in this game, no doubt about that. And I do make them favourites as well for this one. I think they've got quite a good selection of players there. Having watched them in the first game, there is real quality there. Pulisic came off at half-time, but he is apparently been deemed fit to play once more. And goals do follow the USA at this moment in time. Over 2.5 goals landing in 8 of their last 10 games, and they are scoring in a lot of games as well. Pochettino has got them playing well, but as we said in the first predictions video that featured the United States, they are still conceding goals, even if it is just the odd goal. Can Australia get one today? Taking a look at the player section inside the fixture, we can see that there were 18 players across both squads that committed 1 or more fouls. So plenty of fouls. Of course, Australia were with their backs against the wall for most of the games, relieving pressure. Yengi with 3 fouls. Chris Richards, Crystal Palace centre-back for the United States, also with 3 fouls. Torre for Australia, who was impressive, plays for Norwich, 2 fouls. Quite a few players there on 2 fouls. Adams in the middle. What a player. I really do like him. Very, very tidy player. Now looking at shots, we can see Tillman with 5, Balogun with 5. He scored a brace, didn't he? A couple of goals on his World Cup debut. Well done to him. Can he find the back of the net today? Now for these games today and going forward, I'm also going to put my scoreline prediction on the screen right now. For this game, I'm going to go 3-1, and this was requested in the comments. They wanted to see a scoreline for every game as well. So 3-1 to the USA is my prediction. Now, let's take a look at my Bet365 selection. So here is what I am looking at for this game. Over evens, the USA to score one of their goals in the second half, for them to have over 3 corners, as Australia sit back potentially again with that 5-4-1 formation that they play, and Mohamed Toure up top for them to win a foul as he did in the first game. Such an important player, as are the other players behind him, in getting their team up the pitch. So just over evens. Let me know what you're on for this game. Every comment automatically entered into a draw to win, and your name up in lights in the next episode. Next up, Scotland against Morocco. So Scotland against Morocco, get your predictions in the comments for this one. This is the featured game of this episode, and I just want to start by showing you the number of fouls won in that first game. John McGinn won 5 fouls against Haiti, but I think what is more impressive, sorry John, is that these Morocco players in the top 5 against Brazil, they really did take the game to Brazil at times. Hakimi winning 5 fouls. I'm liking the look potentially down that left-hand side of Andy Robertson to commit a foul. Now, my question for you in the comments is, can Scotland score in this game? Morocco have got a very, very good defence. We all know that. Brazil scored against them, but that is Brazil, and this is Scotland. Scotland did look a little bit nervous at times against Haiti. Haiti actually had them on the ropes at times as well. Plenty of shots taken from Haiti. A big chance near the end as well with the header. BTTS on our model is 54.4% yes. So we are going to lean on that in one of our selections, but I'm going to put together 2 for this game. Let me show you the first. So this is the first, and it does lean into the fact that I believe Morocco are the better team, and if they perform as they did in pockets against Brazil, that they will win this game. Morocco to win, Scotland to get over 1 card, and Andy Robertson, as he did in the first game, to commit a foul up against Hakimi on that right side, and other players as well, but Hakimi will be bombing up and down that wing, no doubt about it, and he was fouled 5 times in that opening game, Hakimi. This is at 4s. Let me know what you think about this. What would you change? What would you add? But don't comment yet, because I've got another one coming up. The second selection leans on the probability model's rating of 54.4% for BTTS to land in this game. The odds are just over evens for that to happen, and then I'm going to add in both teams to receive a card at 3s. I think this could be a pretty tasty game. I hope Scotland approach it with no fear, but I would also not be surprised if they kind of just tried to restrict Morocco, keep things really, really tight. Could see a 1-1 game here, another 1-1, but Morocco, given that they did draw their opening game, will be desperate to win this game. And don't forget to add your predictions. In case you missed it, here is the winner from yesterday's video. Well done to you. I've already been in touch. I almost forgot my scoreline. My actual scoreline prediction leans more into the first selection that I put together, and I'm going to go 2-0 Morocco. 2-0 to Morocco is my scoreline prediction. Let me know yours in the comments. Brazil then against Haiti. How do you see this one going? Of course, Brazil are expected to win 1.14 with the bookmakers. It then just becomes a question of how many goals will they score. We have seen some surprising draws. The draw might be worth it as a single if you think by some miracle Haiti can get a point here. If they don't, they will be going home. They will be pointless after 2 games. And Brazil need a win, because if Morocco get a win today, or even if there's a draw there, they're going to be falling behind a little bit after 2 games. And they play Scotland in the final game. That could be a very interesting tie. So for this one, I am just going to jump straight to my prediction. My scoreline prediction, by the way, is 4-0. to Brazil. 4-0 to Brazil. Let me know what you're on in the comments. I do love reading your predictions. There are some absolutely incredible winning predictions in the comments if you want to go and have a read. Most cards Haiti. Haiti to pick up the most cards in this game as they fight for their lives in the World Cup. And Brazil to score more than once in the second half. That is, and I looked around quite a bit trying to extract any kind of value from this game. Even Brazil full-time, half-time, full-time, 1.5. It's just not worth it for me, in my opinion. So Brazil to get more than one in the second half as they finally break down and make substitutions, keep things fresh, And for Haiti to pick up the most cards, 3.1, I was quite happy with that price. Now then, before we check out the final game, Turkey against Paraguay, let's have a look at the current standings in the leaderboard, because we do have a new winner at the top, and he has extended his lead by a couple of points there. Hoy is the current winner. Bullet, who was previously top, is now fourth. Let's take a look at the predictions from this user. They have not lost in a while. The last game that they did not predict correctly was that Portugal game. England, Croatia, England, Ghana to win, Colombia to win. It looks like mostly BTTS and full-time result predictions from this user. They predicted correctly, just finished as I'm recording this, that Mexico would beat South Korea, and they were correct. A narrow victory, another clean sheet for Mexico. Well done to them. They are through. And Canada 6-0. Like me, they predicted Canada to win, like nearly 70% of the users. So at this moment in time, this is the top 10. Do you see your name here? If not, get your predictions added to this World Cup League. Link in the description if you want to get started. It is a lot of fun. Now on to the final game. Now this one is interesting given the odds, because there's two really separate kind of performances here. They both lost their opening games, but Turkey, as we saw before, dominated the ball, had plenty of shots. What was it? Nearly 30 shots. And they're evens to win this game, to bounce back. Paraguay, on the other hand, were 3-0 down to the USA at half-time. That is two very different opening day performances in my mind. The loser of this game is in deep trouble, no doubt about that. Let's take a look at the last 25 games to see how these teams did come into the tournament. Turkey scoring 1.81 goals per game, 0.92 for Paraguay. Paraguay have a narrowly better defensive record. Not many nil-nils, not many BTTS games. Over 2.5 goals in 70% of the games for Turkey. Over 1.5 goals in 78%. Our probability model is favouring Turkey here. We can sort by the most likely outcomes to see under 4.5 goals, Turkey to score over 1.5 goals. Where is BTTS? BTTS is at 54%. Can Paraguay offer something? They were so poor in that first 45 minutes, and then they improved a little bit in the second half. They did get a goal against the USA. Will they do so in this game? We can take a look at our tips section on the World Cup Hub, and we see here Turkey to win. There is an 18-place gap in the FIFA World Rankings, 22nd against 40th, and Turkey's recent record is stronger than Paraguay's. Tournament form can swing, but the baseline edge is clear. I am feeling a Turkey win here. I think they've got the quality to do so, and I think they were quite unlucky, I would say, in that first game. In the Australia's game plan just worked perfectly. They took their chances, and the goals that they scored were breakaway moments, really. But Turkey must have been working on their clinical nature in training this week. They need to take those chances. Turkey to score more than once, it says here, offers 11% edge. What do you think is going to happen in this one? So I'm going to keep things simple for this one. Turkey to win. My scoreline prediction is 2-0 to Turkey. Let's see if they can get off the mark at this World Cup. I was going to add on to this Yildiz to get a shot on target, because when I watched that USA game, there was a lot of space down that right-hand side for Paraguay, where Pulisic was playing in the first half. And if they offer Yildiz that same amount of space, I think he will have a shot on target. And interestingly, Arda Güler at Real Madrid, he had 3 shots on target in that opening game against Australia. He is on free kicks as well, so he would be a good option. But I didn't want to complicate this one. That was today's video. Let's take a quick look at tomorrow's. If you are enjoying this, please do hit like, leave a prediction, and subscribe, of course. It means a lot. Turkey against Paraguay, we've just covered that. So the next game is Netherlands against Sweden. Van Dijk against Isak. Sweden looked pretty good, didn't they, going forward in their previous game? They got a manager sacked when they faced Tunisia. Then we have Germany against Ivory Coast. I tell you what, there could be goals tomorrow looking at this card. Then we have Ecuador against Curacao. I'm saying it right this time, I think. And then we have Tunisia against Japan. Tunisia with a new manager, how will they set up? Maybe this will be a bit of a tight game potentially for Tunisia. So that is tomorrow's card. I will love you and leave you, and I will see you in the next one.